Hello, 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 everybody. How is everybody doing? Hey, Miss Cheryl, thank you for tuning in. If you guys are in the room, you are tuned into another episode of Thick Skin with Jason Tolbert. This is the first episode of the year, and I'm so excited. Good to see you all. If you're here right now, please like, comment, share this video. Let me know you're in the room so that I can tell you hello, so I can acknowledge your presence here in the room. We are going live right now from 3 different platforms, so you might hear me saying some things to one platform that might not make sense to you, but it's all good. Again, this is Thick Skin with Jason Tolbert. This show is a show where we talk about how we gain thick skin, what we have overcome in life. We'll be talking about family, lifestyle, relationships, and even business. I love this show. A lot of healing happens in this show. A lot of what do you want to call it? Realization happens, enlightenment happens, awakening happens. So today we're talking about you are not what they called you. Growing up with whatever background that you have, somebody somewhere said you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too loud, you're too quiet, you're too light, you're too dark. You're a man, you're a woman, you're gay, you're straight. Like everybody has had those things that has happened, but it's up to us to overcome those things. And we're going to be getting down to the nitty gritty. I'm so super excited to have one of my Detroit friends as one of my guests today, Mr. Simon Black. He is one of the locally known recording artists there. So super excited. His story is amazing. I can't wait to get started with that. But before we get going with all that juicy stuff, I do want to talk about a couple of events that's happening. So tonight is Authors and Art R&B edition. This event is so amazing. It's going to be hosted by the one and only Mr. A.O. Radio, Florida's #1 R&B singer, this year's winner for Oh Say Can You Sing, and also Jacksonville's nominee for Best Boss Singer, and co-hosted by the one and only Miss Jamaica Monet. If you know this girl, you know this chick can sing. Not only are they hosting and co-hosting, but they will also be performing as well. So I can't wait to get that going. That's tonight at the Hilltop Restaurant, 2030 Wells Road, Jacksonville, Florida, in Orange Park. Tickets are only $15, and then you can get a meal ticket if you want. That's only $10 extra. Drinks, food, vendors, good times, networking. It's about to be a real good time. That is tonight. And then on Thursday, we got the one and only Miss Mila E in concert. Finally, she is one of the gospel artists here in Jacksonville. And girl, the baby can sing. Sing. And I have the pleasure of being the host. That is this Thursday, same place as Authors and Art, 2030 Wells Road, the Hilltop Restaurant. We are going to have a really, really good time with that. Next up is networking, intentional networking, how networking works. This one is really near and dear to my heart because this is how I have been able to be as successful as I am. Networking, collaborations, they matter. I am going to be teaching all of my tips, all my secrets, all my tricks on how to network. If you want to know how to network, then you have to first know what a network does and how it operates and the properties of it. I am going to be going over that. That is this Sunday, 6612 Arlington Express Way. $25. It starts at 2. Can't wait to see you there. And it's going to be hosted by the one and only. You know who it is, your girl, Tori Lundy. Mandatory hostings, a required presence. That's my girl. She's going to enlighten us with her hosting skills. And then last but not least, we have Fedora Friday with the one and only Florida's #1 R&B singer, A.O. Radio. It is Fedora Friday. Grab your fedoras. Come on out. It is free to get in. Food, live band, music, drinks. It's like grown and sexy for the grown people. So come on out and we'll have a good time there. Alrighty, so we've gotten that all out the way. I'm so excited to have this guest onto the show with me today. He comes all the way from Detroit, Michigan. He is one of the popular artists there. He is a singer, performer. Everybody, put your hands together for the one and only Mr. Simon Black is in the building. Hey Simon, how are you, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I am good. I am good. I am good. Good to see you, man. So happy to have
Good
you
to
in
see
the
you.
room, in the building, to get your story out.
Oh yeah.
We've been talking over the last couple of days, and
Thank
just
you for
make.
having me.
Oh no, it's totally my pleasure. I plan to do more things that reaches further out than just Jacksonville. So this was spot on. So I appreciate you for taking your time out to be with us on today. All
Okay,
right,
no
so
problem.
we got some people in the room. I want to shout out really quick. Miss Cheryl, thank you for joining. Shar, you already know what it is, baby. Look, you're gonna be on one of these episodes too, so get ready. Yvonne, hey Yvonne, I love you, girl. Channing, I thank you for tuning in. Shar says, I swear this is the perfect conversation for today. Yes, yes, yes. Please stay for the whole episode because it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Brianna, all the way from Detroit. How you doing, Mr. Kenneth? Pure Bell. Pure Bell is my lactation, y'all. Don't look in my hair right now and judge because she about to get me together tomorrow. She's on the line with us today. So we thank you all for tuning. All right, I'm sorry. I get excited when we do this. So I want to ask you just a little background about yourself. Tell us a little bit about Simon.
Okay, well, I'm trying to make that short. I'll try to make that as short as possible. Born and raised in Detroit, from the east side of Detroit. Those of you who are from Detroit know that side of town. Always wanted to sing, always wanted to perform, always wanted to be in the front. I knew I wasn't destined to be in the back just because of my size or what people called me. Um, and here I am today. Basically, I had a very supportive family as far as my great grandmother. She raised me. There was nothing wrong I could do in her eyes. I was like her second shadow, if you will, you know. So, yeah, that's how you got who you got today, basically, in front of you.
Okay. Uh, you are a performing artist there in Detroit, correct?
Yes, I am. Yep. Yes,
Um,
sir. Singer, songwriter, producer, entertainer extraordinaire. Yeah.
look,
Yes,
my bad.
sir.
I ain't trying to limit you, man. I don't blame you. Look, put some respect on your name. I feel you. Yes.
Okay. But
um,
very humble at the same time. Yeah.
I understand. Yes, you are. So he has some gigs coming up that we're going to talk about a little bit later. He's got some projects coming up that we'll talk about a little bit later. But tell me, I guess. So we know what you do for a living. You are a recording artist. So
Thank
what?
God.
Yes, and it's a blessing to be able to live out your dream because some people die not ever having been able to do that. So you're absolutely right. Um, so what kind of made you like want to do the show, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, actually, I saw your post. You were vote. Someone was you wanted us to vote for you.
Uh-huh.
Um, for something. And I said, well, that's great. I like to see other young black men doing something positive and being recognized for it, in a positive light.
Right.
Amen. And I said,
Right.
well, okay. So I checked you out, looked at your stuff, and I said, well, I'm gonna hit you up and say, well, can I be a guest on your show one day? Because I wanted to be a part of your positivity as well.
I
You know,
appreciate.
we so often see people that made history. We're a part of history as well. We have to make history as well.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
wanted to be a part of the movement, your movement, my movement, our movement together as brothers. You know what I mean? As people. That's
Yes.
it.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I appreciate you for real, for real. So with in keeping of the topic of the show is you are not what they called you.
Mhm.
Um, Keeping that in mind, what are some of the obstacles that you had to not only face, uh,
Mhm.
uh, uh, come to grips with, and then overcome?
Well, the first obstacle I can really ever remember um was about my weight.
Okay.
Being a fat kid, like 50 Cent say, if like a fat kid loved cake, and I loved cake for real. Cake. Okay. Like I said, being raised by my great grandmother, she cooked homemade all the time. So I was eating good, real good. And, I was teased for being a chubby little boy. Everybody else want to run around and go swimming and take their shirt off. I was ashamed to take my shirt off because I was a little fat. You know what I'm saying? I had to deal with that. I had to deal with the fact of being biracial and not really even know I was biracial, if that makes sense. To me, I just look like myself, and this how I look, this how you look. I didn't look at it like, well, you look different than us, or your hair is different than us, even though I'm having you today, but I never, or your parents look different, or your family looks different. I never looked at it like that, thought of as being stuck up because I was smart or educated or I wanted to learn. You know what I mean? I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world, to try to be dumb so people would think you were cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also knew that I wanted more out of life than just the east side of Detroit. I knew it was more to life than just McClellan. That's the street I grew up on, and East Warren. I knew it was more to life than that. I just did.
So and I know exactly the plot of Detroit that you're talking about. For the people who's watching who have no idea what the East Side is or what McClellan looks like, kind of describe what it was like growing up there.
Okay, well, back then, it was actually, I had a pretty good childhood. I mean, most of our grandparents still owned their homes over there, so the neighborhood was somewhat still decent then. As I gotten older to turn into a teenager, that's when the neighborhood started to go downhill. You know what I mean? People's grandparents were dying, so the older grandchildren were taking over the homes. They weren't taking care of the homes, of course. They were turning them into trap houses, and it wasn't even called a trap house then. But, that's what they were turning the house into. They were slinging out the house and this, that, and the other, and it just started going downhill. Used to be a nice part of town. You know what I mean? It was the hood. It was a neighborhood that became the hood, basically. What it was. So growing up over there was great fond memories. But as you get older, you start to see things a little differently. And I just started to see things differently. And I was like, wow, our neighborhood is really kind of going to poop, like down the drain. Yeah.
So so I hear you say your weight, at one point, kind of where you came from at one point. We were talking about on yesterday, something happened or where you had to face like what masculinity was, what masculinity looked like.
Yeah. So that too. So not being quote unquote what people think or thought is acceptable as masculinity, because I wasn't super macho, because I used good diction, because I had manners and things of that nature. So I was deemed as being feminine or gay, and that had nothing to do with sexuality. That's just who I was. I wasn't rude because I wasn't raised like that. So I didn't think you had to be rude to be a man. I didn't equate that with masculinity, but most people did. So that would deem to be a problem, especially if you're a young Black man in this like misogynistic environment, So as I got older, I had to learn to accept that about myself, that I was not like everybody else, and that was okay. Because I always kind of danced to the beat of my own drum, and I had to learn that that's how God made you. So guess what? You can either let these things cripple you, or you can use these things to your advantage and be the best darn person that you can be, the best whatever that may be. And that's what I did.
That's what's up. And I understand when you say the masculinity part, because we do live in a world that if you're not like super hyper masculine, then you're not a man. Like your pants have to be down literally to your ankles. You have to disrespect women every chance you get. You have to be on the street corner. You can't wear a tie. You can't be smart. You can't have goals. You can't have dreams. If you're that guy, then your masculinity is questioned.
You're a nerd or something or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a pushover. You're a punk. You're a pansy.
Right. You're weak. Right.
And that's just that masculine toxicity.
Toxicity, yes.
And to me, I just feel like we live in a world like this is 2022, but really, we
Yeah,
still,
really. Right. Yeah, it's like really, man, you know.
and it's crazy. It's super crazy. But that is something that one would have to overcome. I have to overcome that too.
Hmm.
I am now not afraid to say I'm openly gay man. And growing up for me, so I mean I wasn't like super feminine, but I definitely wasn't like hyper masculine either. I was like maybe like an even mix, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
Okay.
And I was always called or deemed as I have three brothers. All of them always played basketball. All of them were into manly
Yeah.
things. I wasn't against it, but that just wasn't my favorite thing to do.
Mine.
Um, put me in the box. They told me, you're gay, you're punk, you're sissy, all that kind of stuff, which is funny because now that I'm gay, they're like mad that I'm gay now. Like, but you called it out. You're the one that said it. But that's a topic for another day.
Okay, yeah. I get it. Right. I totally get it.
So I do when you say that, if there's somebody out there who may be watching or who will catch it even after this airs, what would you say to that person who's struggling with how masculine they are or are not?
I would tell them to it's harder to walk in other people's shoes than to walk in your own. So continue to walk in your own shoes because nobody can be you and you can't be anybody else. Live in your own truth, whatever that may be,
Right,
because you only have one life to live
right.
and you have to live your life for yourself, not anybody else.
And it wasn't until me personally until I knew I knew that, but I wasn't living that. It
Right.
didn't mean
That's
nothing
the
to me.
difference. Yeah.
But when I put it into practice or whatever, that's when I really gained my happiness. That's when I really gained relief. Um, and it was so much less pressure because I really am literally just being me. So that's just how it is. My auntie Karen is watching. Hey, auntie, all the way from Detroit. Thank you for tuning in. Um, some other things that you spoke about. You said like when you said you were just different. I was just a different person. I was just a different child. Uh, and I know we talked about the masculinity, but when you say different, what did different look like growing up for you?
Well, different for me looked like you said, while everybody else was playing basketball, I was watching MTV. So back in the day, a lot of in my neighborhood, a lot of black families didn't have cable. We had cable, you know. So MTV was my best friend. So while everybody else outside playing, I'm in the house watching MTV, watching videos, saying, "Wow, I want to do that one day. I want to do this one day, whatever." You know what I'm saying? So I was doing that. I was always running around the house singing, trying to be like the people on TV or whatever, or just aspiring to be that one day. Just doing everything opposite of what the other kids were doing. I was trying to see what the adults were doing,
Uh huh.
So I guess you could say I was a little grown for my time. Not necessarily bad, but I felt like the adults were having a better time than the kids.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Um,
know that seems a little funny, but yeah, that's what I was doing.
I understand. So were you? I love you, Auntie, so much. Like I love you. Were you ever bullied? Did it ever come to like fights and things like that growing?
Yeah, I can say that in school. In school, I was somewhat bullied. I mean, not necessarily to the degree of what some kids are going through now, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
But yeah, I was for no reason actually, just because I was being who I was, um, which was just being me. Because I was the fat kid, because I was the quiet kid. Then I was quiet. um, you know, or whatever, just being bullied just for that. I guess I was looked at as the weaker or the easier target. you know, or whatever. And that kind of was in middle, like, well, elementary school a little bit, kind of in middle school too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even a little high school, but not to that degree in high school, because by the time I got to high school, it was kind of like, you know, you people don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm
You
just
were
here
like,
trying to get my education and figure out who I am. You know what I mean? So yeah. It was
how?
it made it different or difficult, I guess, for school sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess I had to find my tribe, you know?
As everybody does, growing up, figuring out who they are and who their tribe is. Absolutely.
Mm.
How did that or did that affect dating and getting to meeting people and relationships? How did that?
Well, do you mean the way I was treated? How did that affect me dating?
Um, did it affect your confidence as far as dating, or even when you started dating? Who
You
you
know
were?
what? To a
With?
degree, to a degree, it did. And here's the funny part. You ready for this? So by the time I got to high school, all the fat that I had when I was a kid, so to speak, it went away. I grew up, I stretched out, I thinned out, I was really, really small. I had a 32 waist. But
Snap.
in my head, I was 5'9", 5'10", with a 32 waist. I weighed 155 pounds. In my head, I still thought I was fat. I had a flat stomach, for real, flat. Like I could suck my stomach in and look like
Wow.
Shamar Moore, supermodel. You know what I mean? But in
Uh-huh.
my head, I still thought I was fat because those were seeds that were planted in my head. I'd heard that for so long. You know what I mean? Because I
Mhm.
didn't have muscles, you know, because I wasn't super masculine. So in my head, I was still fat, even though my waist was like this, you
Right.
know? So it was a little kind of hard trying to date. I didn't really I wouldn't approach people. People would approach me or
Uh-huh.
whatever. Um, but as time went on, you know, I gained my confidence and I would approach people if I saw something I liked, then I went after it. And that's kind of how it's always been me, my tenacity. If I see something I like, I want, I don't stop till I get it. You know? Yeah. And I discovered as I got older, I began to gain my weight back. That don't nobody want a bone but a dog. I discovered that too. So I'm okay being you know, a thick brother, a meaty brother, or a plus size brother, whatever. I like this being this size more than I was when I was skinny. I don't want to be skinny, to be honest with you. I don't. I like
Well,
this who I am because I ain't had no complaints. Yeah.
that's what's up. That's what's up. How, if you don't mind me asking, how do you identify? Are you
Um.
sexual orientation? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh. Well. Well, I would say I identify as a gay man. I would say that I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
Um. I do. Do I think that women are attractive? Yes, I do think women are attractive. Women are actually my inspiration. If you take a look at me, you can probably see that. You know, um, but I think I'm attracted to beauty. That's what I'm attracted to. So just
Mm-hmm.
because you're a man doesn't mean that you can't be beautiful. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? We always deem women to be beautiful,
I
but there
agree.
are a lot of beautiful men in this world, and not men that dress up as women or whatever the case may be, but men like you or I. There are a lot of beautiful men in the world,
I
and I
got you.
don't think we identify that enough because we always look at the outside so much. We have to look at the inside too, because you could be fine as wine, but if that inside is rotten, I don't want
Mm-hmm.
you. You know, and vice versa. Sometimes I've learned, even being older, that beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder. Because if somebody treats you good and they really, really treat you good, of course you want something nice to look at. But if
Right.
they treat you like gold, like a king, the king you are, you can't beat that. At the end of the day, at least you know that it's real and it's genuine.
I agree.
You know,
Good
so it's
stuff.
a catch-22 on all those things.
Good stuff. So the reason why I asked the question is because um, a lot of times growing up, you discovering who you are, you you find out, okay, hey, I am gay, I do like the same sex, whatever, and then you bring home who you're dating, or you tell somebody about who
Right.
you're dating, or they overhear, or they walk
Right.
past you looking at a picture of them in your phone, and they walk like
Who is
how
that?
yeah. So even being judged or called things or whatever for who you like to date. I would imagine, because it was for me, I would imagine that played a part in all of this too.
Yeah, it did. Well, I never had that conversation with my grandmother about who I was. I remember, God rest her soul, she asked me one day, she said, my hair was long, long when I was younger. She said, do you like having long hair? And I said, yeah. And she said, well, boys don't have long hair. I said, yeah, okay. She said, girls do. I said, well, I'm not a girl. She said, okay. She just said, okay. She said, all
Mm.
right. I said, but I like having long hair. Is that okay if I like long hair? She said, I guess so. And that was kind of it. That was our conversation. I was maybe 11. Yeah, and like if people tried to say like stuff on the sly about me, I would notice that like it would bother my grandmother. Like she would not feel bad, but she would just look at them like, you know, you're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna disrespect my grandson in front of
Mm-hmm.
me, however you feel. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't so like she wanted to fight him, but it would just be like a look like, really? That's really you doing that to a child? My child? You know what I mean?
Right.
So she's always been my biggest cheerleader. So I felt like this. And I expressed myself in all kinds of ways. I walked out that house on McClellan looking all kinds of ways. Me and my friends, and my grandmother didn't say nothing. Funny story one day, our neighbors asked one day, she said, hey, Granny, and my nickname is Ricky. She said, where's Ricky going? And I was getting ready to go perform at Pride. And I had on my sunglasses, but you couldn't really see my face or anything or what I had on. She said, don't worry about it. He going to work. What you doing?
Now.
Just like kind of shutting that down. Like, don't ask me no questions about what's going
Right.
on over here. So, like I said, she's been my biggest cheerleader. She came to my first show at Innuendo, as a matter of fact. Those of you
Okay.
are from Detroit. She came, it was, Innuendo doesn't start till late. She sat there till I went on at 1 a.m. in the morning. She came
Oh,
with this guy that I was dating at the time or whatever. He brought her. And that just meant a lot to me.
wow.
She had seen me run around the house and annoy the hell out of her, singing horribly off key when I was a kid till then, to see me doing that. So, yeah, out of everything I did that annoyed her the most, she kind of let me stick with that. You know what I mean? So,
That's
yeah,
that's a blessing. That's a
that
blessing.
is a blessing.
So many of us, speaking for myself, wish with all of their hearts that was the case for them. So that's a
Yeah,
true blessing to have that type of support straight out the gate at that, and not just saying it, but showing up and showing it. Like that's the best thing
yeah,
for.
yeah. And I think about that. That is something she let me do, all experiment with all kinds of things. She really did, and because she knew that's not, I guess, who I wanted to be. It was just for entertainment. It was for work. I was finding out what worked for me and what didn't,
Right.
or
Right.
whatever. So she was down for it because she knew that's something I really wanted to do.
And
You know?
she's now, you can say she was a part of the journey, and
Oh, yes, very
I
much so.
can't say that my parents were a part of my journey. My grandparents were a part of my journey. That's an absolute blessing. Um,
Yeah.
Anton, hey, thanks for tuning in with us. Vincent, thanks for tuning in. And Lynn, thanks for tuning in. You guys are awesome for sticking with us as we talk about this episode. And this episode is talking about you are not what they called you, or not who they called you. If you're watching and you have a comment or even a question, go ahead and feel free to put the comments in the comment box. We would love to answer any of your questions. We would love to
Yes, yes.
acknowledge and engage with you all. But so many of us grow up with all types of backgrounds, and
Mhm.
people misjudge us. They label us. They speak things over our lives. They just put their mouths on us with no regard over um, when you speak, you're actually declaring a thing. Like they it's so loose with their judgments and things like that, and that can cause you, if you're not strong enough, that can cause you to really get into a bad place. That's where
It
depression happens,
can.
and anxiety shows up, and imposter syndrome, and all these other self, you know,
Imposter syndrome. Wow. Yeah.
yes. That's when all this inner stuff starts happening. And if you're not careful or have the right support system, or strong enough to just wait it out till you get strong enough to come out, like
Right.
it's a hard thing to do. So we're just talking about the things that you were called, the things that they said about you growing up, that you actually believed, and now that you know who you are, it's like, like you don't even care anymore. But it was something that you had to overcome. It was not easy.
Yeah.
It was
It's
definitely,
definitely a journey, a
it's
process.
absolutely a journey and a process. Me growing up, they called me everything. They called me gay. When I was growing up, I got braces now, but these my two front teeth were like really, really protruding out, and they would call me anything that resembled an animal or anything with teeth. Mr. Ed, Beaver, all those things, and even sometimes when I hear those words, even today, like talk about trauma, I hear those words today sometimes, and something happens on it. Every time I hear the word beaver, like literally something happens on the inside of me. That's how
Wow.
traumatic those experiences were. I didn't finish college. So they said, you know, you're not stupid, but that was stupid not to finish college. You'll never be successful. You'll never get to the height of your success. You'll never.
Oh God. People don't, so once again, they don't know what it's like to walk in your shoes. They don't know why you did what you had. You had to do what was best for you.
Exactly.
Some people never even made it to college or even attempted to go, you know?
And, and
And
that's
look at
what,
how successful you are
and
now.
that's the thing. That's the importance of not listening to those people, not letting what they said stay in you long enough to manifest something that you can't get out of.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the beauty of catching it before it turns into something. They said I talk too much. Well, guess what? I'm talking now and I'm making money from it. So now what? Do I still talk too much?
That part right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Think about
yeah.
that when you're asking me
That
to
part.
borrow some money. I made it from talking too much. So it's really how you spend a thing.
Right, right. Spinnovate. I like that. Right. Or the other one. Well, I'm not too gay for you to borrow money from, right? But I'm too gay to come over.
Yeah,
But I ain't too gay. Can I get a couple dollars? No, man. I'm too gay. Remember, my money too gay.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that part.
Um,
Yeah.
it's just crazy the things that you have to overcome when you're just trying to be yourself. And that's what this
Mhm.
show is really about. Like number one, accept, hey, this happened. Like I had to accept that, hey, this happened. This
Yeah.
happened. I felt that way. I still feel that way. I don't think I'm going to change how I feel no time soon. Like it's okay to say that. It's okay to be in that space because that's a part of healing. That's a part of your journey. You gotta feel it to know what to do with it. If you keep bypassing it or sweeping it under the rug, then you will have a life full of shambles and a life of um, unauthenticity, if that's the word or not.
Yeah.
And that's what made me start telling my story. Even it's just you become less of yourself, less of a person, like a shell of a person when you
Yeah.
are not able to fully be everything that you know that you are. I said that on purpose, everything that you know that you are. And all based on a neighbor, a sister, a brother, a father, mother, niece, nephew, just because they said? Who the hell is they? Who made they the Trump of all things? This to be who made them in charge?
Who made them God? Right.
Exactly.
I didn't get that memo.
That's crazy. Yeah. Hey, Adrian, thanks for tuning in. And if you're not careful, like I for anybody who's watching and you're in that space and you're like, I don't know what to do, if you can get around somebody who can get you out of it, who can motivate you, who can speak life, who can speak against what was already said to you, who's going to get in the trenches with you.
And sometimes you have to encourage yourself. You have to speak life over yourself in your own situation.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to decree and declare over yourself. We have the power to do that. Amen. Hallelujah.
And we do. We absolutely do. I can command that anxiety go away and anxiety goes away. I can do that.
Hallelujah.
I have the power to do that.
Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah.
I absolutely have the power to do that. And you can too. Adrian said, who? Them in charge? The invisible person in their mind? Absolutely.
Right, in their mind.
Right. I don't know who put them in charge, but for whatever reason, they think they're in charge. And
I do. Etch a sketch. Etch a sketch. Etch a sketch, yeah.
Look, because they playing games.
Etch a sketch. They done created some people.
So we've talked about relationships. We talked about lifestyle. We talked about even family, even a little bit. Let's talk about a little bit of the business. And this is one of the part that is kind of near and dear to my heart because I think I'm still going through it. Like I'm just being transparent. I'm still working through that journey of being okay business wise. So I'm divorced. I got divorced this November, made it official, but we've been separated since March. And while I was married, I didn't live a closed life. Everybody knew I was married, but I never said I'm married to a man. I never said it out loud, but everybody knew that I was married. And I do a lot of things in the city. And I never said it because I was scared that I'm going to lose a follower. I'm going to lose a vendor. I'm going to lose a contractor. I'm going to lose a client. I'm going to lose a partner. Those were my personal hiccups when it came to doing business and being gay as well. Did that affect business for you? Or even maybe not affect business, affected in your mind in business?
Being with somebody or publicly announcing that?
Like were there any inner thoughts that told you don't be yourself or don't fully be yourself or they know I'm gay, but like
right. Well, I'll say that's a good question. And I understand where you're going. As you know, in entertainment, you entertain for a lot of different people, not just the LGBTQ crowd.
That's exactly
Sometimes I entertain for just what I'm thinking is a heterosexual crowd. And so my show is the same but different, but I know that sometimes it probably can elude them to think something different about me as far as the opposite sex, even though they know what's going on. You know what I mean? But in reality, but in the moment, they've forgotten that. And so sometimes I've struggled with that a bit. I can be transparent with that even now. Like, well, should I just really like turn on this other person because I know this is what's going to make me more money or it's going to get me a different gig? But then I had to remember that those same people that when I met them, I was myself totally. And that was another battle I had to fight, being on a different scene, not on an LGBTQ scene or this like disco kind of scene, but being on a live music scene, on an R&B scene, and being myself and being able to like, oh, well, this kid can hang with us too. So he's just not just this one trick pony, you know. And as time went on, I kind of cultivated myself for that. Another thing about me that you didn't know, I am Entertainer of the Year for the Detroit Black Music Awards, still
Oh,
current
wow.
reigning, because we didn't have another one because of COVID. And so my LGBTQ self, I won, you know, and like I said, that was something I had to, not that I was necessarily judged, but it was a hurdle I still had to jump over because most of my counterparts are, that's a whole different scene,
Yep.
you know, and I won, I got it. And when I did my acceptance speech, I told God, thank you everybody. And I told the lady who put it together, from one diva to another, thank you for seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself. You know, so I would say use your better judgment for that. I can't tell you not to. I can't tell you to, but it's kind of like you got to look at it. Every situation's different. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to tell people everything because everything's not the business. Not that you're hiding it. It's just
Right.
not the time or place for that.
Right.
I'm here to talk about the city. I'm here to talk about how long I've been married and who he is or whatever the case may be. I'm here to talk about this. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
So it's kind of like that. I've kind of had to learn to cultivate that myself. Like even when you asked me the question about my sexuality, um, that doesn't come up a lot. But if people ask, I'll say it because people do ask me because they
Uh-huh.
don't want to assume. You
Uh-huh.
know, um, I mean, yeah. So I would just say, just do what you think is best.
What?
To be honest,
Yes. Do it. Everything is best at the time, and with time, whatever the right decision is.
and whatever, yeah, because God has for you is for you, and that's
And
it.
that's just the thing, and that's what I had to tell myself. That's what I'm realizing, and that's what I'm working through. What he has for me is for me. So by me saying whatever I may say, if that's going to turn you off or make you not a client or a partner or whoever,
Right.
then you were never a client, you were never a partner, you were never whatever I'm trying to uh, make you to
And it's
be.
better that you find out now than later.
Yeah,
You know, before you
I,
really get entangled, and it's like, oh my God, you know, these people,
right.
they hate me all of a sudden, whatever. You know.
Because I'd much rather be
Yeah.
authentic and alone than faking something with around billions
Yeah.
of people because you're still alone, even though you're around all those people. Um,
You know, the saying is truly true. It's lonely at the top.
it is. That's a
It
whole
is.
other conversation. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Um, but nothing. If you're watching it now, if you catch it after this airs, there is nothing. Hear me and hear me good. There is nothing, not one thing that anybody can ever call you, anybody could ever say to you, anybody can over declare over you, speak over you. There is nothing that they can do or say that will hold you back or that can hold you back unless this is the ticket, unless you give it the power to do that. They can say all
That's
that they
right.
want to say,
That is correct.
they can do all that they want to do because you can do everything right, and guess what? They're gonna have something to say. And you can do everything wrong, and guess
They're
what?
still gonna have something to say. That's correct. That's
So
correct.
do you authentically, your whole self, be all the way you that you want to be, the perfect amount of you that you want to be, and look
Yeah.
at somebody crazy if they dare question you about it. That's how I feel about it.
And keep it moving.
Because it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
It
Uh,
is.
if I could go back, um, if I could look back at my younger self today and tell him anything, if they was like, you can tell him one sentence and one sentence only, I would just leave him with, it gets better. It gets better.
I would tell my younger self, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Exactly.
It's gonna be okay. Trust me, it's gonna be okay.
Yes. Because when you're going through it, you're in that space.
Because I used to didn't think that when I was like 13 and 14, like, God, why me? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Because I don't fit into nothing. But as time went on, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay.
I'm a firm believer in if they don't let you in the door, go create a door. And that way you can dictate who comes in and out. And
that part. There you go.
And
don't sneak in the back door, just create a door.
That's what I've built my career off of, actually. So all you misfits out there
dancing to the beat of your own drum.
The unicorns, aliens, Martians, you know who you are. Don't everybody stand up at one time. You know who you are. Go ahead and be that. Gonna be all the you that you can be. And I promise you, it gets better. That's all I can say. Trust me when I tell you, it gets better. Simon, I appreciate you, man, for taking out time to be with us on today. Hopefully, this episode will help somebody, bless somebody, push somebody, enlighten somebody, awaken somebody. Because if it didn't, then we're doing it all for nothing. So before we get out of here, are you still with us?
Yeah. I don't know. I went away for a second. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm trying to get back. My phone had rang and I had to send it away. Sorry.
While you do that, if you can answer me this question, if there was one thing you wanted to leave with the audience, what would that be?
To continue to be yourself no matter what. And remember, what God has for you is for you. Believe in yourself and believe in God, and everything will be all right.
I love it. Very, very sound advice. Very good advice. Do you have any upcoming shows before we get you out of here?
Yes, I do. Well, I have one actually February 6th here in Detroit at the Olympus Theater. It's the Queendom Show hosted by Chantrell Blue. It's me and a couple other. Yes, it's me and a couple other fine young entertainers here in Michigan. Usually on every show that we do, I'm always the only live vocalist usually. So you know how that goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell all of them I said hello, Chantrell. I don't know if you still see.
So yeah.
Please tell them I said hello, and I see them doing their thing. All of them. I don't know what happened to his feed. Yes, can you hear me? I don't know what happened to his feed.
I don't either.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I tried to chime back in, but it was like doing.
Got you. Well,
hello.
Yes, can you hear me? Got you. Well, I'll leave. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. I will leave it like this so that we don't mess anything up or waste any time. So you do have a show coming up.
Doing like a double thing. Yeah. So you got that February 6th at Olympus Theater, right?
Yes. I was saying, if you can, please do not forget to tell Chantrell Blue, Sierra Malone, and all those ladies I said hello all the way from Jacksonville. Please give them my love.
I will. I definitely will give them my love. When I share this, I'll tag them in it as well and send your love as well.
Perfect. I love seeing them ladies doing what they do. So before we get out of here, I just want to. So he is a recording artist, and I wanted to play a little snippet of his latest project. While I play this, you will not hear myself or Simon, but I do want to go ahead and play it. So we'll be right back after this small snippet. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Hey, I know y'all saw that. That is his latest project. That was Mr. Simon Black's latest project, entitled "I Feel Love." So go ahead and
Yeah.
check him out. How can they check you out? Where can they find you? What are your handles?
Okay, so on YouTube, I'm simply Simon Black 313. On Instagram, I'm Simon Black 313.cad. That's because I love Cadillacs and I'm representing the D too. And on Facebook, I'm just simply Simon Black. And if you'd like to purchase my music, I'm on Bandcamp at Simon Black 1, the number 1, .bandcamp.com. That's Simon Black, the number 1, .bandcamp.com. And you can purchase all of my music there. You can go on YouTube if you see the video. I Feel Love. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Help me make this song a hit. It's getting plays already overseas and in Canada, so it's a little international right now. So yay, 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 yay. Thank God for that. So help me make it a bigger hit, even in the US, and be a part of history with me. And thank you all in advance. I love you. God bless.
I appreciate you, Simon. So you've got all his handles. Go check him out. Subscribe to his channels. He's doing some great things, and we would love for you to be a part of his journey as he's climbing higher and deeper into who he truly is and who God made him. Cynthia, I love you, baby. I see you chimed in. I see you watching. I appreciate you. Hey. You always supporting. I love it. How's the baby? I need to see the baby. And that is not negotiable. That was not a question. I am telling you, I need to see the baby. There you go.
Hey, I'm back.
Alrighty, guys. So as we get out of here, I just want to tell everybody about the show. Every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. is when you can catch us here. You can always catch us here. You can always catch us here. Again, my name is Jason Tolbert. I do so many different things. They call me the architect. I build events, I build businesses. That's what I do.
That's right.
Me. Please do follow me. Jason Tolbert, Facebook, or Jason the Architect Tolbert. IG is Jason _the Architect. I am also on YouTube at Jason the Architect. Alrighty, guys, I'm about to get out of here again. Next week, and I'm going to remind everybody. Celebrate yourself. See everybody later.
Celebrate.